All right, welcome to our next one on adding fractions and mixed numbers. So this time you're not going to have common denominators ready for you. We should be there, okay. I'm pretty sure. I hope we appear this time. All right. You can start us here.
Review our integers rules. Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. Take the sign of the larger number.
Then you'll be exact. All right, for fractions, like we talked about in the last one, think of the numerator as a part that is going to be positive or negative. So when you rewrite the problem, put that negative sign with the numerator in the fraction as opposed to next to the whole fraction. All right, so we have three rules quick, just to remind us. First, you're going to rewrite the fractions with common denominators. Remember to do the same thing to the numerator that you do to the denominator. Then use your integer rules to actually do your adding, same signs or different signs. And then just because it's a fraction, don't forget to simplify.
Ooh, I'll take the first one.
All right.
5 6 plus 3/4. I know you're both going to say 24 as a common denominator, but let's go 12. Less simplifying when we're done. We're asking ourselves how many times does 6 go into 12? So he's going to multiply the top and the bottom by 2. Whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. I guess it should be reversed. 4 times 3 is 12. So then 3 times 3 is 9. Then we're going to check our signs. Are they same signs or different signs? In this case, they're both positive. Add them up. 10 plus 9 gives us 19/12. Stop. Look at the simplification. That is an improper fraction. So we're going to need to turn it into a mixed number. So we have to think, how many times does 12 go into 19? The answer is 1. That becomes our whole number or the large number. 19 minus 12, what's left over is our numerator, and the denominator stays the same.
I can really tell how much slower you're trying to make yourself go, so I appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, so 8 and 10, our common denominator is going to be 40. Remember, if you're not sure, look at your multiplication table. Try to find something that shows up in both the 8 and the 10 row in your multiplication table. To get from 8 to 40, we multiply times 5, so we do the same thing to our 3 is 15, and the negative just kind of comes along for the ride. To get from 10 to 40, we multiply times 4. Do the same thing up top and get 28. Here's where you get to your integer rules. Did I mess something up?
Nope. Okay. Different sign, subtract.
So 28 minus 15 is 13. Denominator stays the same. And then remember, take the sign of the larger number. The 28, the positive was bigger, so it's going to stay positive. 13/40 can't be simplified, so that's our final answer, 13/40.
I was just curious as to why you changed your pen color. Anyhow.
Because I thought you were going to tell me I did something wrong, so I was going to have to go fix it.
Blue, 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 purple, purple, green. Okay. 5 and 7 both have a common denominator of 35. This time they can multiply it together, and it works very nicely. 5 times 7 is going to give you 35. So now numerator 4 times 7 will give you 28. Are you going to add the negative to, there we go, to the 3. 7 times 5 is 35, so negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, sorry. Now to our integer rules. Different signs subtract. In this case, 28 is a higher absolute value, so our answer will be positive. 28 minus 15 is going to be 13. Denominator stays the same. 13's prime. We can't simplify. Our answer is 13/35.
I love that even though I realized last time that I used the same numerators, I still didn't change it. All right, next is adding mixed numbers. So a lot of the rules are going to be the same with the exception of number 3. Rewrite them with common denominators. Use your integer rules to decide how you're going to add or subtract the parts. But then remember to do both the whole number and the fraction parts in the problem. And then remember to simplify and regroup if needed.
Wow, that was a mouthful. I'll take the 2 positives again. Common denominator is 15. 5 times 3 is going to give us 15, so 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. He's going to bring down the 7 because it's along for the ride. 3 times 5 is 15, so 1 times 5 is 5, and then he'll bring down the 3. So fraction plus fraction gives us 11/15. Whole number plus whole number is going to give us 10. 10 and 11/15, that's a 5. It is
It is a
simplified.
5, I swear.
So we are done. Looking at the next problem, it is same sign, so you are going to add.
All right. So common denominator is going to be 18 for both 9s and 6s. 9 times 2 is 18, so I do the same thing to the 4 and get 8. And then the negative 2 slides down. 6 times 3 gives me 18, so I do the same thing up top and get 15. And the negative 5 slides down. So because you have both a whole number and a fraction, you got to do both pieces, 8/18 and 15/18. Each of them is negative because the whole mixed number is negative, so that means the fraction parts are as well. So same signs, we add them together and keep their sign. Again, add the whole number parts together, add them together and keep the sign. So we get negative 7 and 23/18.
This is your step 4, your regroup if necessary step.
So 23/18 is improper. So 18 goes into 23 one time with 5 left over. But I also have the 7. So 7 and 1 is 8 and 5/18. And then because they were both negative, we keep the negative. The negative just kind of rides along as we do all the rest of the math in the problem.
Wow, a 3-color problem.
It was a lot of steps.
All right, step 1, find your common denominator. 4 and 5 both go into 20. Step 2, make equivalent fractions. 4 times 5 is 20, so 3 times 5 is 15. Negative 9 slides down. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 4 is 8. The 7 slides down, and now we've got different signs, so we must
I'm going to cheat for a second. I'm going to slide
subtract.
just so I can see it.
I don't know what's going on here, but the negative 15 needs to add with a positive 8.
But they have different signs.
The negative 15 needs to add to the positive 8 is where we are.
Okay.
For a result of a negative 7/20. And negative 9 plus a positive 7 is going to be a negative 2. So we're subtracting, we're keeping the negative on the outer side. We look to see if we need to regroup. Nope, 7 is less than 20. We look to see if we need to simplify. No, 7's prime. We're done.
All right, so notice that she put the negative, you don't put a negative on the fraction and the whole number. The whole thing is negative, so we just put the negative sign out front.
But in the steps, you need to consider both parts negative, if that
Correct.
makes any sense.